Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me set up this room real quick and then we can get started. Sorry for the late start. The internet is kind of weird today. Weather here sucks in California again, so it's generally when the weather is kind of cold here, it tends to have issues with internet connections around the area. So let me just get everything all set up and then we can get started. All right, that's good. Cool. All right, looks like we're good to go, guys. So I'm gonna let people into the room real quick. Once everyone makes their way into the room, we can get started. So let's see, 6:27 right now. Market's opening in about 3 minutes. So we do have some time, but we do gotta rush it a little bit. So let's let everybody into the room. Once everyone's in the room, we can get started. All right, guys, looks like people are making their way into the room right now. So let's just take a look at the retail sentiment real quick. Retail sentiment is currently 69% short, meaning that 69% of traders are short in the market right now. It's still majority short, but it looks like it's starting to shift. So we're still looking for some possible buys today. Going over here to the futures data, currently it's at 67 points in the red, so it's not very far in the red. So once the market does open, we can see what the daily average is looking like. Going over here, looking at the actual indexes for the day, pretty much everything's red for the most part. The Dow's red, S&P's red, Nasdaq's red. Oil's up, and the 10-year bond is 10-year yield is up. So all of the indices are pretty much down right now. We'll see what happens when the market opens. It can easily just shift to the upside because it's not too far in the red with regards to the Dow and the S&P. Over here at the technicals right now, currently price is bullish on 1 minute. Reason for that's because price is above the pivots, trend meters green. Same with the it's like sleeping. My phones are being weird. Like it every time I turn off the alarm, it still goes off. Anyways, going back to the 3 minute over here. So 1 minute's bullish because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. Also over here on the 3 minute, same situation. Price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green, but it's not very strong because you can see it's kind of just going sideways at this point. Lastly, on the 10 minute, same situation. Price is just going sideways, so it is a bit indecisive. So the technicals right now are pretty indecisive. You can see price is kind of just shifting back to the downside. It's going sideways on the 1 minute, sideways on 3 minute, and sideways on the 10 minute. So with that said, there really isn't like a clear direction. Market is opening shortly in about 5 seconds. When the market does open, we can determine, what direction we should be trading in as price starts to shift one way or the other. So let's take this off right here. All right. So looking at current price right now, price is still right down the middle. You can see price kind of shifting back to the upside like we anticipated earlier. So the retail sentiment is still short. So I'm still looking to look at some current buys. I'm gonna refresh this right here. The fundamentals are still red though. So looking at the average right here, it's currently 76 points or now 58 points in the red. It's not very strong, but it is bearish right now. Refreshing this right here. Retail sentiment is pretty much still the same. Looking over at the technicals, you can see price starting to shift up very strong. So with this big push to the upside, if this closes with a strong green candle, this would possibly be the breakout. However, it's not something that I would take because the fundamentals right now are currently red. So unless they were green, like going towards the upside, then I would look for a possible buy. But right now, there's like no clear direction. Obviously, you can see this is a huge candle right here to the upside. So this technically would have been it wouldn't be the breakout because there's no buy signal. This current candle right here is the pending buy signal. So with that said, this would technically, if it closes as a strong green candle with a buy signal in place, then that would technically be the breakout. However, it's not something that I would necessarily want to take because the fundamentals aren't necessarily green just yet.
All it is
so
keep the information.
It's still pretty much indecisive.
John, mute
it's not
everybody.
very strong. The price is going up. However, the price is getting close to this
number 2
Asia high right here.
On the roof,
what could happen is price can bounce off or it can keep pushing up. With this huge candle right here, it's going to have to pull back. So I don't recommend anyone chase this right here because if you do chase it, you might get caught in some side here. Pulls back and refresh this again one more time. It's the stocks dip after hottest consumer price reading since 1990. Oh, what? It's weird. Wall Street pointing data lower ahead of inflation data. Interesting. All right, so that's probably why the market's right now.
Mute your mic.
Your price started coming down really hard.
And then the final
so that's why I don't recommend anyone take it. Also, that would be a
Christopher,
breakout.
mute your mic.
Mute
your mic.
So don't break out right now. Doesn't look like we're gonna have a breakout today either. I'll mark it up right here at 635 just to identify, when's the last time to take the breakout if it does come up. So
this is supposed to be 2 foot taller than that, not 2 foot below.
So yeah, that means looking at this right here, there just is no breakout because this right here, in order for us to take the breakout, it's a strong red candle, right? After the sell signal, it never came. Everything was green after here, and then this current candle right here is not even really valid.
Come out of the south, blow over that ridge, and push right down in top, and push it back in the house.
Right
then
here,
you also got that air return that's going to fight you. Now, none of this prevents you from using it. This makes it more work out. If I was to say that you,
John, can you please mute this guy? Seriously.
Add more. Okay. If you got a contractor friend, I would personally recommend that that has been taken care of, even if you order it online. It is simple. Take the cap.
Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, sorry guys. I just saw the messages right now. I didn't. Aaron called me to tell me to mute everybody. So my computer was on mute, so I couldn't even hear anybody. So thanks, Aaron, for letting us know. There we go. Just muted everyone. Okay, so back to what I was saying here. Sorry, guys. That's that's my bad. Yeah, I couldn't hear anything. I was sorry, guys. You guys probably didn't hear anything I said that entire time. Guys, can you hear me now? Is it okay? Man, I was like, why is Aaron calling me? Aaron never calls me this morning. He knows I'm on the live. So I thought it was an emergency until he messaged me. Okay, sorry guys, really sorry about that. I didn't realize that someone was talking the whole time. All right, anyways, back to my analysis. So I don't think you guys heard anything I said from the whole time that I was talking. So let's go back to the analysis. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to mute my computer because when I go to sleep at night, my MT4, it's so weird. Like it starts making that doing noise in the middle of the night. It'll like make doing noise and the boomerang noise. So I mute my computer and I didn't realize it was muted this whole time. So anyways, okay, back to what we were saying earlier. The IG sentiment is currently 69% short. So we're looking for a possible buy here. Retail sentiment is still short. Looking at fundamentals, currently fundamentals are now 20 points in the red, which is not very strong. It's it's red, but it isn't necessarily very strong. So it's indecisive now with regard to fundamentals. This can easily shift to the upside, which is perfectly fine because we're looking for it to be opposite of the retail sentiment anyways. Going over here, looking at the technicals, it's starting to look bullish, right? So right here, price is above the pivots, trend meter is green. Looking at the 3-minute, same situation, price is above the pivots, the trend meter is green. And here on the 10-minute, same situation, price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. So everything's pointing towards the upside right now. And we're looking for a possible buy. Looking over here at the actual stock index, let me just refresh this real quick. And looking at this right now, currently majority of the stocks are green. They're just not that strong. So looking at everything here, if they start to pick up in strength, then the buy should start to turn green, which it is now turning green right now. You can see prices having issues breaking across this Asia high and staying above it. This right here is, as I said, no one cared about the trade. Everyone wanted the noise to go away. Yeah, no, definitely. And sorry, I do see the chat here. There's like 50 messages. So some of you guys are trying to warn me, but I was too focused on analyzing the chart. Okay, so anyways, back to here. Let me just put the strategies. First one is going to be the pivot scalp, obviously. Second one is going to be the high-low strategy. I'm not going to go over the strategies right now because we just don't have time to really go over them, as the market is currently moving pretty quickly. So I'm just going to put all the strategies up here. You guys should already know what they are. If you guys are brand new, it's okay. I will go over them a little later when we have some downtime. I just want to get everything up right here so that you guys know exactly what to look for, or what I'm looking for when I pull up these specific charts, because each specific chart is going to have its own specific strategy. The daily strategy right here as well is still currently running. Let me just delete this because we're not following it right now. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me get this right here. There we go. 6:30. All right, anyways, going back to the 1 minute over here. So this is pretty much what we're looking for. We're looking for any of these entries off the pivot scalp or the high-low scalp. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a line above here. The bias isn't very strong either way, so we don't really have a strong bias right now with regard to where we want to trade. But I'm going to keep this to identify the range as we continue to see it move along. So looking at this right here, this is solid. Looking at the 3 minute, there's technically no entries available right now. Price is just going back and forth. You can see the indecisiveness in the market, right? Because price isn't really going directional at all. It's coming up and it's coming right back down. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up the specific times where I'm going to be looking for trades. So 6:30 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and then 10 to 12. All right, so that looks solid right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the line at market open price, which is going to be right there. All right, cool. So price is currently above right now. What might happen is price may come down, retest the opening price, and then it can bounce right back up, or it can break below. You guys see the same pattern, right? I draw this every single morning, and it almost always plays out. So something to look out for. This is a key price point right here. As price comes down and it tests the opening price, it's going to come back to it. It'll either retest it and bounce off, or it will break through and just continue dropping lower. So something for you guys to, follow and keep in mind right there. So we have that right there set up. We have the 1 minute charts over here. There's not really much for us to look at this point, because there just really isn't any entries. We have the range now being built. Range is from here. This is the high, this is the low. What we can look for next is if the range expands. So I think what I'm going to do now with these 1 minutes, because I started to notice one thing. I don't know if you guys started noticing it too. Price will usually create a huge range, like a big range, and within it, it gets tighter, right? So if we keep this big range open, we kind of see where price has been moving for the entire session. So just looking at current price right now, if we look at the range, price has moved about 1,100 pips, which is not a huge amount, but it is, it's a pretty solid amount for it to be ranging right now. I think we do have some news today as well. Let me just pull up the calendar real quick, refresh this. Currently today is Wednesday, November 10th. This morning we had CPI, core CPI unemployment claims as well at 5:30. They're pretty much positive aside from unemployment claims. Next we have final wholesale inventories at 7, and we have crude oil inventories at 7:30. Again, later today we have natural gas storage and then 30-year bond auction, but we're usually not going to be trading around that time, so it's not really important. The only important thing are going to be the news at 7, which is not super important, but it's going to affect the economy one way or the other. That's kind of why the market kind of slowed down a bit, right? Because there's not too much going on right now. The only reason for those big spikes for the right here where they had the price reading news. They came out to basically stocks dip after hottest consumer price reading since 1990. As soon as that dropped, what happened? Price did the opposite. So I usually don't follow news. I just look at it, but I don't necessarily follow it because it's not usually all that accurate. Usually what happens is the news gets released later, like too late, and then people have already reacted to it. So it's too late to hop into it. And price does the opposite. Looking at the actual indexes right here, though, everything here is red. The Dow's down 54 points, S&P's down 14 points, NASDAQ's down 121 points, and the Russell 2K is down 15 points. So the indexes across the board are all red. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay red throughout the session. I mean, they can, but there's no guarantee they're going to stay down there. As you can see right here, it's not a strong red bias, right? The fundamentals are only down 56 points. We need it to be down 100 points and stay down 100 points. If it keeps bouncing above and below 100 points, it's not a stable, strong sell bias because you can easily just shift back to the upside. Looking over here at retail sentiment, refreshing this hasn't changed, meaning that not that many people have been entering or exiting the market. So with that said, that's why volatility is kind of low right now. Price is shifting to the upside, but I'm not looking for any buys right now. And the reason for that's because the fundamentals still haven't confirmed, right? I want the fundamentals to confirm before I take the buy, even though it's going opposite of retail sentiment. It's not really a strong trade for me to take. Going back to the confluences right here, these are both sell, right? It's a sell bias, right? It's not a strong sell bias, but it is a sell bias. Looking at IG sentiment, this is also retails are selling. So with that said, there's no confluence right now with regard to the fundamentals and retail sentiment. The only confluence we would have here would be the technicals here if we have an entry. However, we also have news coming up. So we have news coming up at 7. With that said, that's going to invalidate our confluence as well. So now we have 0 confluences at this current moment. So with that said, it's not really a good time to trade. I know right here we have a buy. Yeah, we have a buy signal right here. This is technically a buy entry using the pivot scalp strategy, but it's not something that I would take just yet because we have 0 confluences. And the biggest thing here is that the fundamentals are not green right now. It's still currently red. So with it being red, it's not one that I want to take because it makes it a very, very risky trade to be trading against the fundamentals. Price generally follows the fundamentals, and you can see prices starting to drop here because the fundamentals are currently red. So that's something to keep in mind. I mean, if you guys want to take this here, you can take it, but it's a risk because there's a chance that this number can shift to the upside, right? This can go from -54 to like -20 within a matter of moments. If that happens, then price is probably going to push to the upside. However, if that doesn't happen and the price continues to lower like it's doing right here, then you can be in a really bad position. So that's the reason why I would not be taking this buy right here, even though it's a valid buy using the pivot scalp strategy. Main reason is that there's no confluences, right? You want at least 2 to 4 confluences to take the trade. But currently right now, there just isn't any confluences available. So you guys want to make sure that you guys fully analyze the trade and you guys aren't just hopping into like random trades just because. Obviously you guys want to be very confident about the trade that you guys decide to take, because if you guys can see here, price isn't even moving. It's just going sideways now at this point. And with that said, we have to tighten our range. So tightening our range right here, you can see that price is literally just going sideways with little to no movement. Going back over here as well, you can see price is now ranging here too, but it's still making its way back down to opening price. So this is fine. This is what we're looking for. This is okay if price comes down to retest the opening price, because what happens is when price comes down, it'll lure into more sellers. So as it lures into more sellers, if it bounces back up, we'll be ready to catch that bounce back to the upside because we're already anticipating it, right? We have this stuff, we have everything marked up right here. So it's not going to be a surprise to us if price comes down, tests the opening price, and then it bounces off, because it's the same pattern that plays every single day, right? If you guys remember from the day before, it did the same thing, but it never came back and retested, right? So we had different scenarios here. It was price will either come back and retest, or it'll just continue dropping like it did here. And you guys can see my markup from yesterday. I didn't even touch this. It's the same markup that I did before we went off the live session right here. We got off at 8, and look at the markups that I did. It played out perfectly. And it's crazy because like it does the same thing every day. It'll either come back and retest or it won't. Even going back to the day before that, look at my markup from here, right? came down, retested the opening price, and then it came right back down. It's the same pattern every single day. I haven't touched these charts all week. The day before that, is it still up? Okay, so the day before that's not up anymore, but you guys can see that pretty much the same pattern just repeats itself, right? So you guys already know what to look out for. It's the same thing every single day. The only reason I know this is because I've been trading US 30 every morning for the last 3 years. So it starts to create a pattern. So you can see comes up, comes down, and these are the same markups I do during the live. Same with what I did today. There's the markup, right? Price can come back down, or it doesn't need to. It can just keep going back up like it did yesterday, because yesterday it never came back to retest, right? It just kept continuing to drop. It took a while. It looked like it was going to come back to retest, but it didn't, and it just continued dropping. And that would be perfectly fine with it continuing to go up as long as the fundamentals shift in that direction. So you can see our price shifted back up. What do you think is going to happen with the fundamentals? So you can see how it's negative 50. If you refresh this, it's now negative 36, right? The number decreased, just like I mentioned earlier. If price goes up, it's going to decrease because price follows fundamentals. So like I mentioned over here, if you wanted to take this this scalp, you could have taken it and you'd now be in profit. However, I wouldn't have taken it because I don't like taking risks like that. You can see price got really close to the stop loss, and then it shifted all the way back up to hit TP, right? It's a tricky trade. It still worked. It hit full TP right there, but it's a tricky trade. And this is why we have a wide stop loss, because we have a safety net. Every time we enter a trade, guys, I don't ever plan on losing. I never plan on losing. So that's why we have a wide stop loss, because we rarely lose. Some people don't understand that. They can't get that across their head why we have a negative risk towards, because we have such a high win rate. The thing is, like I mentioned before, I've been trading this for so long that I see these patterns. There'll be fake outs where it'll come out and close you out. It'll try to stop people out, and then it'll shift right back up. And you guys have done that before, right? I'm sure you guys have done that. People who like to do something with like a big risk to reward, they lose a lot of trades, right? They'll lose like 100 trades and they'll have one trade that'll just bring them back to break even. For me, I don't like that. That's not my trading style. I like to win more trades, take a bit higher risk, but lose less, because I just don't like to lose trades. You know, everyone trades differently. There's no right or wrong way to trade, but this is the way that I trade. And this is the way that I found works perfectly for me and majority of the people here. So as you guys can see, price didn't really do much, but you can see that that trade right there would have hit TP if you would have taken it. I didn't take it because it's not fitting my my criteria. In order for it to fit my criteria, I need at least 2 or more confluences in order for me to take the trade. So going back to going back to the average, so you can see prices coming back down, right? Going over to US 30 right here, let's refresh this. What do you think it's going to be? You think this is going to be lower or higher? It's 36 points right now. I think it's going to be lower. If you refresh it, it's now negative 52 points, right? So as you guys can see, it's really simple. A lot of people don't understand when I look at the fundamentals here. They think that I'm just making this shit up. I'm not making this shit up, guys. Obviously, price comes down. What happens? The fundamentals are leading. So if the fundamentals are down, price goes down. If fundamentals are up, price goes up, right? It's like basic common sense, guys, basic logic. But I don't know. People still try to argue with me about that, saying that I don't know how to read fundamentals. Well, I guess I don't know how to read fundamentals yet, but it works for me. So anyways, going back over here, I'm just going to move this higher because well, actually, this has been invalidated. So this high right here has been invalidated because it was touched right there. Also, this one right here is invalidated because it was touched right there as well. So this is now going to be the high until we have a new one that's been established. So anyways, looking at this over here, this is pretty much our range at this point. We have the low pushing up higher, hasn't been touched here, so it's not invalidated. Other than that, I mean, we're pretty much just waiting. Obviously, you can see prices just ranging. If we had it marked up right here, it's literally just going sideways. But since this was already invalidated because it's been touched right there after the following candle, I'll be moving it a bit higher over here. So I'm still looking for trades, guys. It's not that I'm not looking for trades. It's just that there's nothing available right now that fits my criteria. I know we had that buy there. I didn't take the buy because it didn't fit my criteria. Once it does, then I'll start looking for, specific trades here. So as you can see, as price starts to shift back up, that's because the fundamentals are starting to shift back up as well. Because these things go hand in hand with each other. Some people just like looking at technicals, but I like looking at both fundamentals and technicals because that increases my probability. You know, if you have more confluences, more confirmations, it helps you identify where price is really going, not just these like fake outs that show up on the technicals. Because the thing with these charts, guys, is that this most of the time this is just noise, right? If you look at the fundamentals, this is literally all you have to look at. You can see it went from like negative 50 to now negative 38, right? Negative 31. Now it's going lower because price is pushing to the upside. If price continues to push up higher, like if it goes above here, then you could expect this to be green. See how it's 31 points? If I refresh that, it's now negative 24. So hopefully this is all making sense to you guys. You know, once I started to figure out how to tie fundamentals with technicals, that was kind of the breakthrough for me, because I was able to really pinpoint where price was going. And it really helped me with my probability and my win rate, because I like basically if you tie the fundamentals with retail sentiment and with your technicals here, it almost becomes bulletproof, because you have so many strong confluences pointing and telling you exactly where price is going without really knowing, right? Because you really don't know what's going to happen in the market until it happens. But as long as you guys have these confluences to look at, these confluences will help you feel more confident about your position, right? Because the worst feeling is if you enter a trade and you're not even sure where price is going. For me, whenever I enter a trade, I already know where price is going. I know price is going up, or I know price is going down, because I confirm it on the fundamental side and retail sentiment. So whenever I go into a trade, I'm fully confident. That's why a lot of people, if I enter a trade or I'm in drawdown, and people always wonder how am I so calm, it's because I already know where price is going. It's not like I'm going in blind. I go in with an edge. It's kind of like going to a casino, right? Casino doesn't care how much you bet on a game, because they have the edge. Like with me, I don't care how much risk I take when I take these trades, because, well, I do care about the risk, but I'm not too worried about it, because I'm playing like I'm the casino. I have an edge in the market. And it's an edge that a lot of people don't have, because they don't understand how to look at fundamentals and technicals at the same time. So looking at price pushing up to the upside, looking at this here, what do you think this is going to be? Higher or lower? Refresh this, it's going to be higher, right? Negative 8 points. It's now pushing to the green. Just like I mentioned earlier, if price pushes above here, it's going to be bullish, right? And let's see what happens here. Is this going to be green? It's now green, right? So guys, hopefully it's making sense to you. It's pretty logical, right? To understand what I'm saying here. People still don't get it. I mean, it blows my mind that people still try to argue with me about how I look at fundamentals, but well, it is what it is, right? We'll keep doing what we're doing here. So anyways, big spike to the downside right here. It's having an issue. This is how we tie fundamentals with technicals. You can see this right here pushing down because it's struggling to get past this Asia high until it confirms, and it's going to be a lot easier for us to confirm that. But currently right now, it's still going to be bouncing around this point. So looking over here, I'm going to move this down here, and this is now going to be the high. It hasn't been established yet because we need 4 or 5 candles to pass it before it's established. But currently right now, this is going to be identified as the pending high. So looking at current price right now, this is going sideways. The range is now a bit wider. And what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for some buys here. So looking for a high-low scalp over here. I think we're pretty far from the all-time high. Yeah, we're very far from the all-time high. So that's cool, because all-time high is way over here, which is fine for me because I want to be trading in open space anyways. So if this gets broken again, this is no longer going to be the, okay, so it broke right there. That's not the all-time high anymore. This is, I mean, this isn't the high. This is still the high currently. As price continues to push up higher, if price closes above here, then you can possibly take that for a buy using the high-low scalp strategy. It's going to be a little bit risky, but the fundamentals are now shifting to the bullish bias. Now it's up 10 points. So looking at that there, refresh this right here. Retail sentiment is still short. Fundamentals are bullish. They're not very strong, but they are bullish. Looking at the index over here. If you guys remembered earlier, I mentioned that there were more green stocks, but they just weren't strong, right? I mentioned that once they become stronger, you can start to see this shift in the green side, and that's exactly what happened. The same stocks are green, they're just stronger now. Looking over here at the fundamentals, refresh this. Currently still down, but the average is starting to push to the upside. So looking at that right there, we know exactly what to anticipate. So here's a range. You can see price starting to come back down. This is why I'm not entering the trades yet, because there still is no confirmation that it's going that direction. It's still it's still bouncing around here. So going over here to the other chart, you can see right here that it's not coming down all the way, it's still pushing to the upside. So here on 3 minute, I mean 1 minute, nothing available right now. 3 minute, nothing available here right now either. I'll mark up 630 so we can identify where market open was. Looking over here at the 10 minute, here's the snipe. Some right there. Zone right there. Zone right there. Man, the zones here are like super messy, but whatever. We'll be looking at that from there. All right, so no entries off this point. This is just snipes. I just drew these up so they can follow it. Looking at the daily here, no daily entry yet. Going back to the 1 minute, not really much here either. Yeah, and then light news coming up in about 3 minutes. Thanks, Sam, for confirming. And guys, big congrats to everybody here in K2 who got funded pretty much this week. A lot of people got funded yesterday, actually. I saw a lot of people pass their verification. So big congrats to everybody in K2 who got funded. There's quite a few people here. So I think Miriam, let me just go here real quick. Yeah, like Miriam over here, she passed 2 FTMOs. So definitely great work right there. And I think Maddie here passes MFF. So we got about 2 or 3 or 4 people here who passed their FTMO and MFF yesterday. So big congrats to you guys. It's all about consistency, guys. Some profits here. Paul took a trade here for NASDAQ. He's been trading NASDAQ the past couple of weeks, locked in a total of 1,042. Nice work, Paul. Cheryl over here is currently up 5,209 for the week. So great work right there, Cheryl. Jeff over here up 1,148. Great work, Jeff. And I think that's it for right now. I will take a screenshot of my profits too today. So Cheryl's up 5,000 this week. I'm up pretty decent this week too. Let me go to my social trader tool. So I'll show you guys where I'm sitting for the week. I haven't had any losses all week this week. I haven't taken too many trades, but I also haven't had any losses. So oops, what did I do? I'll do it later. I was gonna take a screenshot of my I guess I can do it on my phone. Oh, let's wait for this trade here. Because I'm currently up 7,877 for the week, but I have 2 accounts, so I'm technically up 14,000 or 15. So this right here would be a buy entry for the high-low scalp. However, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit before entering it because it's probably gonna have to pull back a little bit. So yeah, this right here would technically be an entry using the buy low scalp. Let me have my MT4 ready right here. I'm not going to enter right away, guys. I'm going to wait because like I mentioned before, guys, the market's kind of choppy right now. You also want to confirm that it actually closes. Don't enter early. Wait for it to close. So you can see right here, price did not close above it, right? It's still bouncing back and forth. So it needs to close above it in order for it to be valid. And it was also a strong candle. So, I mean, a big candle. So, and this is why we wait. So you guys can see right here that the market's not very smooth, right? Price came above, it failed to close above. So this is no longer the high and there's no entry here for the high low. That's going to be that right there. So here, I'll just take a screenshot of my profits for the Aaron, I just saw your message, man. Thanks, bro. I was like, man, why is Aaron calling me earlier? And it's because the mics are going crazy. So let me take a screenshot of the all right. So let me just post that in the group real quick. Just so that you guys can see like how I'm doing this week. Hopefully you guys are doing just as good. So here are my profits. So as you guys can see right here, I'm just taking a picture of it, kind of similar to how Cheryl is doing it right here, right? So Cheryl right here she's up 5,209 for the week with one account. I'm up 7,877 for two accounts. So I'm up about 15,000 for the week. For this week so far, no losses. This account up here is my personal. I haven't been trading my personal that much. I've just been trading my FTMOs. So that's why I have these right here. But yeah, I mean, I'm just showing you guys exactly. No, C6. So C6 asking to be Aaron. No, it's the it's my buddy Aaron. It's Aaron from my local friend, or not the other Aaron. This is that Aaron would not help. he would probably like joke around about it, then tell me that the thing's messed up. So anyways, right here, guys, there was no entry. The reason for that is because price didn't close above it. It touched it, came back down. This is now going to be the high. All right. Yeah, because a lot of people ask me like, how am I doing for the week? I mean, I'm always doing the same because I'm really consistent with my trades. So as you guys can see, it's Wednesday. I haven't had any losses. That's why I have a lot more here compared to like others, because I just didn't have any losses this week. I usually don't have losses. Like I was mentioning before, guys, I'm pretty consistent with my trades. I don't necessarily take anything risky, because here's the thing, guys, like a lot of people like to take risky trades, and you know, it's good sometimes. It's good when it works, when it hits, but when it doesn't hit, it sucks, right? So if you have no losses, your trades just continue to compile over the week. So like, you know, I'm hoping like by the end of this week, it'll be double this, because it's only Wednesday. We still have 3 more days to trade today, plus two more other days. So yeah, not bad. That's pretty much my my count for this week so far. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else right here that I'm missing. There's nothing off the 1 minute. Maddie said a 10-minute daily. All right, so this is going to be the daily entry right here. So this is good because it's kind of lining up with what we're looking for today. We're looking for a buy, right? So let's go back a little bit. All right, so looking at this right here, this is technically going to be the daily entry. I'm not going to take it because you know how the market's moving right now. There's no strong bias. If there's a strong bias here for the fundamentals, then I would take it. But currently right now, there just isn't a strong bias. It's still red right now, actually. So I wouldn't take it, but we'll mark it up here. If you guys want to take this trade, I'll mark it up and then we'll follow it. However, just keep in mind that I'm not taking this trade. I am looking for buys, but I'm not going to take this daily because it's just too risky. So I'll mark this up right here. Yeah, and the volatility is not as crazy as it's been. So like Talanji just said right here, he said yesterday's 10-minute was a sell. It only got about to 50% to full TP. Yeah, and it never got stopped out because the volatility was a lot less. So that's one reason why I'm not looking at taking the daily either, because the volatility is not as high. Usually it moves at least 1,500 pips by, you know, the market close, but it didn't move that much. So there was no, I mean, if you're following the active strategy, you could have gotten pulled out, but it, you know, obviously it's not pushing as far as it needs to. So yeah, I got everything all set there. All right, so there's the daily strategy right there. I have it marked up. We have our alert set up. If you guys want to take it, you know, feel free. I'm not sure if you guys want to take it. I'm not taking it. So, but if I'm not taking it, that kind of indicates that, you know, maybe it's not the best trade to take right now. You know, just like I was mentioning before, guys, if I'm not like 100% confident about a trade, I'm not going to take it, right? I'm just not going to take it because I don't want to lose. And I think that's like the mindset you guys need to get into. I feel like a lot of people, you guys are focused on the profits. For me, I'm focused on not losing. So as long as you don't lose and you take proper risk with every trade, you're going to keep stacking up profits. Like for example, here, you know, I'm focusing on not losing. That's how I got this. I didn't focus on making it 10,000 by midweek, right? Or 20,000 because I have 2 accounts. I didn't focus on making this much profit for the week. I'm just focusing on not losing my trades. If you focus on that, it opens up so much opportunity because you don't get greedy anymore. Like when you start to focus on just not losing, you're not greedy. You just look to win, and your profits will come. Like, you know, for me, I stopped looking at profits like a couple years back. Um, you know, profit. Like for me, I just like to trade. Trading is like a game to me. It's fun. So my goal, like in any other video game, like if you play any game, guys, you know, your goal is not to lose, right? Your goal is to win. So if you make that your goal to just win every time and not lose, the profits are just something that comes along with it. You know, you got to get your mindset in the proper direction. Because the thing is, if you're looking to make profit and that's your main goal, you're going to gamble, you're going to make mistakes, your emotions are going to get involved. That's why I'm emotionless. You guys see me here on the trade, you'll see trolls, I'm dealing with trolls, and then all of a sudden I go from dealing with trolls to going back to trading because it just doesn't bother me. I don't get phased by anything because I just don't have any emotions in this. It's just trading, you know, trading like a robot, which is what I found to be my breakthrough. It's probably gonna be your breakthrough too when you guys figure out how to you know, control it. So anyways, back to the charts. Charts are just kind of boring right now. It's kind of slow. I mean, it's actually really slow for New York session. The news just came out right now for what was it? News just came out for final wholesale inventories. It was negative. Obviously, you can see price right here kind of coming down. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much for us to look at. Yeah, Kenny's asking if there's any news today. There's a couple news events. There's one that just passed right now at 7. So that was the final wholesale inventories, mortgage delinquencies. There was also heavy news this morning, CPI and core CPI plus unemployment claims. But that passed about like an hour, 2 hours ago. The next one coming up is crude oil inventories at 7:30, and that's pretty much it. Jennifer said, Shondo, can you remind me of the copy trader you use? I misplaced the sticky I wrote it on. We use social trader tools. So that's the same one that I use and the same one that everyone else uses here. So you can see where's Cheryl's? I don't know what happened to Cheryl's here. I think she deleted it. But yeah, she's using the same one as I am. So we all have pretty much the same one there. Let's check this out. Roman over here, he said light work this AM, locked in a total of 751. Nice work, Roman. So great work right there. Patricia over here as well. Patricia locked in a total of 2,050. She said she's done for the day. You know, just like I mentioned before, guys, if you guys don't have to trade, it's probably best that you guys wait for something that's more efficient, right? There's no efficient trades right now. Like pretty much all these trades are kind of just going back and forth. There's no specific direction. It's kind of just going back and forth. If I see something good, obviously I'll call it and I'll take it myself. But right now, there just isn't anything for us to take. So definitely great work right there by Patricia. She made 2,000 today. Looking over here at Vincent, he said first trade was a gamble. So he made a loss here because he was gambling. And then he took some, you know, proper trades here, locked in a total of 5,000 in wins, 3,000 losses, total profit of 1,348. So if you guys, you know, just as I was mentioning earlier, if you wait for those perfect trades and not gamble, this could have been a heavier profit, but still great work right there, Vincent, with regard to that. Here's to the day, come back, there's someone else talking in the background. Oh man, I still find it funny that what's going on this morning. So as you guys can see right here, okay, here's Cheryl. Yeah, definitely. Cheryl's up 5,341. Nice work, Cheryl. And Brian over here. So you guys, I talk about Brian every day, and this is the key. This is like a clear example of K2 consistency, right? Like I have all wins here, but I'm K2. So obviously I'm going to have all wins, right? Because I know what I'm doing. Brian here he's just a member in K2. He's been a member since May. And look at his consistency here. All wins. November 1st, 3,000. November 2nd, 2,000. November 3, 4,000. Number 4, 3,000. He has no losses, right? He just keeps winning every single day. And this is all about the consistency that I was, you know, referring to. If you guys can continue to trade this way and actually listen to what I'm explaining to you guys can be very, very consistent. So yeah, looking at Brian here, all wins, right? Every single day, November 1st till 10, it's all green, right? He doesn't take a crap load of trades. Like, look at his trades here. He takes I think he takes a 10 lot or a 5 lot. So he's taking maybe like 5 to 10 trades a day. And they're all wins, right? So that's key, guys. It's key to focus on not losing rather than focusing on making like big profits off one trade. I know a lot of you guys want to show off, make like a huge profit off one trade, but what's a bigger flex? This is a bigger flex, because the thing is, a lot of people, they'll have one big win and then they just blow their account on the next trade. Us here, like Brian understands the job. He understands that you got to be consistent. This is a bigger flex because you add these up in 10 days. How much profit has he made? If you want to add that up, that's a lot of profit. That's 2, 4, 6, 6 plus 6, that's 12. 12 plus 3, that's 15. 15 plus 4, that's 19. 19 plus 2, that's 21. 21 plus 3, or about 4, that's about 25. So he's up within 10 days. He's up 25K right here, right? This is a bigger flex, guys. If you ask me, I'd rather have 25K in over time without having that many losses rather than having 25K in one day and then blowing that 25K the next day. Because a lot of people like to gamble. Trading is not about gambling. I mean, it is gambling, but it's gambling with an edge. So that's something that you guys want to remember. And don't focus on like what other people are doing, right? Because this is the problem here. I'll show Brian's profits, and then Brian will have like 20 people come and message him, ask him what he's doing different. He's not doing anything different. He's just following the rules. The problem is you're doing something different, and that's why you're not having the same type of results. So you guys just want to keep in mind. And you guys just gotta be real with yourself, right? You just gotta be real. If you're making mistakes, you gotta man up to it. You gotta understand that you're making mistakes. Other than that, let's see, question over here from Peter. Peter's asking, is the market open tomorrow? Still doing a live. So I'll be doing the live tomorrow. Peter, I don't know if the market's going to be open. Tomorrow's a holiday. It's Veterans Day here in the US. Basically, we're going to be on the live, but the market will be kind of slow. That's probably why the market is kind of slow today, because it's pre-market. It's the day before the holiday. So a lot of people are taking an extra day off. But I mean, volatility is still moving. It's just not that high. So anyways, if price comes down below here and closes below here, then this technically would be a sell entry for a high-low scalp. So let me go back over here real quick. Let me see what's going on over here. The retail sentiment hasn't changed. It's been 69% all morning. So with that said, it kind of indicates that price is moving very slow. There's not really that many people in the market entering and exiting. It's just, pretty much just a whack market today. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm looking for. If price ends up, oops, what do I do? Okay, if price ends up closing below here, then this would be an entry for a high-low scalp. I would possibly take this for a high-low scalp. I know it's going against retail sentiment. However, the fundamentals are currently red right now. So I could probably catch it for a small move. However, if it doesn't, that's completely fine. If it swings back up, let it swing back up. But just like I was mentioning before, buys can change at any moment. You don't have to be looking for buys all the time. You don't have to be looking for sells all the time. If the market gives you a sell, then you can shift to a sell. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't, right? That's why I didn't want to take the daily here, because I was mentioning earlier that there's no strong bias. Price is kind of just going back and forth. Like what could happen at this point is price can usually just range within this point. And then what can happen is we get close to stop loss, right? And then when it gets close to stop loss over here, what happens at mid-market reversal, right? So mid-market reversal usually happens around 10. So price can probably come down till 10. And then at 11, 12, what could happen here? Mid-market reversal, straight to the upside. Because you guys have seen that before, right? You guys have seen that. We've been looking for buys before. And you guys can see the daily here. Let me go see if I can pull up the daily. I think it was a couple of days ago or last week, where that same exact thing happened, actually. So last week, a lot of people were worried about the daily, right? They weren't taking the daily. They were just doing whatever. And you can see right here, it did the same exact thing, right? Price came down. And then see right here, you can see the timestamp at 10 o'clock, mid-market reversal happened, shot all the way back up. So if you guys are in the position, I mean, you know, you already understood the risk getting into that position. I knew it was risky, that's why I didn't take it. But I wouldn't necessarily pull out just yet if you're worried, because it can easily shift right back to the upside. But yeah, I mean, other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. So Maddie over here said 8K so far in his FTMO, 2 days with losses, but definitely doing better. Because back then I used to chase those losses. If I don't lose, I don't feel comfortable, and don't feel comfortable, I take the day off trading. LOL, psychology is key. So, you know, like Maddie over here, this is what you guys have to do. You guys have to be real with yourself, right? A lot of people want to do consistency, but Maddie's looking over here at his trades. You can see that he's consistent overall, but he does have losing days. So this is you being real with yourself that, you know, it's not always going to be perfect. So I know he has a couple losses here, but they're still good, right? Because the other days pretty much make up for those losses. He made 3,000 this day, 1,000, 35, 37 this day, a loss of 400, but he made it back the day before that, about 2,000 the day before that. So this is, you know, it's key. It's super key. But yeah, no, definitely great work right there, Maddie. It's super key that you're checking yourself, because that's the only way that you'll get better at trading or anything in life. Really, it's, you know, it's about checking yourself and making sure that you're taking responsibility for the mistakes that you guys make, so that you guys can get better and learn from it. So anyways, looking at current price right now, there's nothing that's really bounced from this point. It's still kind of just going sideways. Looking over here at this chart, you can see price is still, I mean, it's in a huge range. So if you see this right here, price literally comes down, comes up, comes back down, price comes back up. It's just back and forth range right here. Doesn't look like it's going to come back to retest this area. If it does, you already know what to expect though. Anyways, going back to this chart over here, 717. If you guys have questions, you know, feel free to ask questions. I'm looking for trades, but there's not much for me to really look at because the market isn't doing anything. It's not giving us anything to look at. So if you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat and I'll answer your questions. This is probably the best time for you to get anything out, for me to answer anything that you guys need help with, so that you guys can understand stuff better. So I'm here to answer all your questions. I'm here to help you guys out, make sure that you guys get everything down so that you guys can move forward with your consistency. Other than that, let me just scroll up to the top. I know there was like a ton of messages here and I missed everything. Sorry, it's just a bunch of the messages with people telling Christopher to turn off his mic. All right, I'm gonna scroll back down. I think that's it. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. It was just everyone telling me to mute everybody. All right, let's go. Jennifer said, I'm still traumatized from the audio issues this morning. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I gotta make sure that my mute isn't on next time. Noel said, what would you say is a good lot size to use with the 1.4K account size on US 30? So Noel, all right, I'm assuming you're using a personal account. So if you're trading a personal account, this is what you can do. So your account's 1,400. If you want to, you know, figure out what your risk should be, basically it'll be about a 3% risk. If you're using a personal account, 3% risk is perfectly fine, because you're not worried about your hitting your max daily loss, right? So you just multiply it by 3. This is how much you can risk per trade, $42. So if you're using proper risk, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. All right, back. So going back to what I was saying right here, Noel, basically with $1,400 account and you're risking 3%, you should be risking $42. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but this is using proper risk. So per trade, this is how much you should be making, how much you should be losing. So depending on your broker, I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're probably using like Hugo's Way or something like that. They use standard lots. Yeah, no, you're fine, Christopher. Christopher said, my bad. My mic was on. Didn't realize it. Had someone cleaning the chimney. I was away from my screen. Yeah, no, you're fine, Christopher. It was my bad too, because I wasn't looking at the chat or the the mute on my screen. So going back to your question, Noel, this is how much you should be risking per trade. $42. So depending on I'm assuming it's going to depend on your stop loss and how much each pip is worth. So if you can figure that out, Noel, this is going to be your key number right here, 42. And then as your account increases, you just go higher. Like for example, if you win a couple trades, you're at 1,500. Just multiply that, hit times, and then put 0.03. That's going to give you 3%. You hit enter, and this is how much you should be risking per trade. So if you're using Hugo's way, then it's going to be 10 cents per pip, I believe, using a 0.01. So like say, for example, here, our stop losses on the 1 minute are usually like 300 pips. So for 300 pips, you're, my math sucks, so I don't know how to calculate this. I was trying to figure out, so if you're doing, we'll do a 500 pip stop loss because usually 300 pips is kind of too small. 500 pips times 50 cents. That's too big. 500 pips times 30 cents. Still too big. 500 pips times. Still too big. So you should be using the smallest lot size, 0.01. Noel, because if you have a 500 pip stop loss times 10 cents, you're going to be right at that point. So you should be using a 0.01 if you're using Hugo's way. Oh, you're using Hugo's, yeah. So you should be using a 0.01 until you get higher. So like once your account gets bigger, like say, for example, you get to 2,000, multiply by 0.3, it'll be $60, right? So then you can increase your lot size. So, I mean, depending on where your stop loss is, if you have a tighter stop loss, you can use a bigger lot size, but using 500 pips as your stop loss, then you should be using a 0.01. Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah, so Noel said, yeah, that's what I figured. I've been using a 0.01. So that's smart because you're using proper risk. And I know it sucks when you have a smaller account because it's a slower grind. You're making smaller profit, but as your account increases, like for example, if you start to have like 10,000, and you can start risking 300. So from there you can increase it to a 3 lot, 5 lot, somewhere around there. But it's key, right? It's key that you're using proper risk. That way it makes it impossible for you to blow your account, right? Because that's the main key here. The main problem a lot of people have is that they don't know risk management. And the thing is, they're like going full margin on every trade. Kind of similar, like Peter said here. He said, or just YOLO and go full margin. Yeah. I mean, people do that all the time. Some people have good luck with that. Some people have horrible luck where they just keep blowing accounts. So, your main key is to survive in this game. The longer you survive, the more you can grow your account. Because once you blow your account, then you're pretty much done. And that's why you usually I prefer using FTMO because they force you to use proper risk. Since if you blow that, you lose the account. Oh, nice. Yes. Jennifer says she has a Google sheet that she plugs in her balance every morning to calculate her lot size. That's really smart, Jennifer. If you want to share that with the group, that'd be great. If not, I mean, it's cool. I know you could probably Google and find one online, but I just, I like doing stuff by hand. It kind of helps me understand what I'm doing better rather than having, a calculator do it. But it's actually really easier and smarter to do it that way because it's less room for mistake. All right, guys, so you guys can see right here, this was the range. The range is now tighter. So I'm tightening the range right here. Now you can see that we're squeezing, right? What happens when price squeezes? It prepares for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. Who knows? Oh, crap, that's what I forgot to do. I'm going to Disneyland today, guys, so I was supposed to freaking, it sucks. Like they have these new rides at Disneyland where you have to book a a space in the line, which is kind of dumb because it's like, man, you're already going to the park, so I'm supposed to book it at 7 and 7:30, so I'm probably too late. Whatever. But yeah, at Disneyland here in California, they have these new rides. It's like the new Star Wars ride and the new Avengers ride or Spider-Man ride. And you have to book your place in line. And there's only 2 times to do it, 7 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And I'm pretty sure I missed the 7 o'clock. Yeah, I don't even see the option here, whatever. Yeah, Disneyland's not so complicated now. Before you could just go there and ride the rides. Now you gotta like book this stuff. It's whatever. All right, back to these charts. I missed my place in line. Which, I mean, whatever. Virtual queues. All right, so what I'm looking for right here, guys, is I'm still looking for price to break and close below here. If it breaks and closes below here, I'll take it for a sell, or I'll possibly take it for a sell. If it breaks and closes above here, possibly take it for a buy. But virtual queue. Damn. Whatever. Guess I'm not going that right today. Yeah, it's like the new Star Wars Rise of Resistance ride. I missed the queue because I gotta do it later at 12. All right, anyways, going back over here, let's see. There's just nothing for us to take at this moment. Basically looking for it to close above here or below here. Hasn't happened yet, so I mean, we're still waiting. It's just a waiting game at this point. This low right here is invalidated because it's been touched by this candle right here, so it's no longer the low. This previous one is still the low currently right now. CT said you'll get on the rides, just not early. No, we're looking to get on the new ones, the specific ones. You can't get on those rides. You need to join the virtual boarding, and it only opens at 7 and opens at 12. So if you don't get in on it, then you're. Oh, and you did standby. You probably did the single rider, right? I'll probably do that because I went last time. The last time I went, they like closed off that whole area. I don't know if it's because of COVID or something. Or you went during COVID too, CT. I'm gonna tell him I know CT when I get there. So I know CT told me I could, yeah, virtual queue. Yeah, yeah. When I get there, I'll just do it at 12. It's not a big deal. Peter said getting ready for Santa Claus because Christopher over there had someone cleaning his chimney. All right, perfect. So Jennifer just sent her a spreadsheet right here. I'll share this in the group, guys. Let's see. Thanks, Jen, for sharing spreadsheet calculating lot sizes. All right, guys, so I'll post this in the premium right here for you guys that want to take a look at it. I haven't taken a look at it myself, but I will a little later. All right, guys, so other than that, let me see if there's anything else right here. Other than that, okay. So as you guys can see, price isn't really doing much right now. It's 7:30. So hopefully I can catch one trade before I get offline. But if you guys have any questions, put your questions in the chat. I'm happy and willing to help you guys with whatever questions you guys have. So if you guys have questions, you know, go ahead and put them in the chat and then I'll answer them for you before I get off the session. It's 7:30 right now, so I think we do have news coming up. I believe so. We have crude oil inventories coming up right now in about a minute. So I'm not going to take any trades, but if I see something, then you know, obviously I'll mark it up. Let you guys know if I want to take it or not, but it's not looking like it right now. Price is kind of just, I mean, it's getting tighter and tighter within this range, but it still isn't good. Yeah, there really isn't much going on right now. Going over to the news over here, let me refresh it, see if there's any update on it. Crude inventories is not out yet. Let's see. Still not out. All right, so looking at this candle right here, this candle actually invalidated the sell or this low. So if it doesn't close below here on this candle, then it's no longer going to be low. I mean, it's going to establish a new one, but it's going to start over the process of establishing that low. Cool. See you later, Christopher. All right, Christopher's got to go. He's got to go clean that chimney. That's still fun. It's funny like hearing that from people because I don't know one person that gets your chimney cleaned. I used to have a chimney before. I never had that cleaned ever. I didn't realize you're supposed to get cleaned like that. Uh, yeah, no. You probably have a chimney over there too, Maddie, over there in Cerritos. Like my old house over there in Cerritos had a chimney. We never cleaned that thing. All right, anyways, going over here on the 1 minute, still nothing here. So even if price closes below here, there's not going to be any there's not going to be an entry. So it's closing below here now. However, it already invalidated it off this candle. So there's no entry that's available off this. And then as it drops lower, I mean, obviously this is the low right here too. So this low never got broken. If this closes right here, this would technically be a sell entry using the high-low scale. I'm probably not going to enter it right away. I'll probably give it a few seconds to pull back a little bit, and then maybe I'll enter it late. But because it's a big candle. So I'll probably let it pull back a little bit and then maybe enter it late. I just need to see what's going to happen right here. Pull back a little more. Let it retrace a little bit. Then maybe I'll enter a sell stop down there and I'll just catch it as it comes down. So as you can see, that's why I didn't enter the trade yet, because I'm waiting for it. It usually does that. If the candle's too big, it pulls back a little bit and it comes right back down. So I will see if I want to enter it as it swings up. Let's see where it's at. All right, so I think I might put a sell stop right there, and then I'll catch it as it comes back down. Let's see. I mean, it's kind of risky. Let me check the fundamentals real quick, see where it's at. Fundamentals are currently 63 points in the red. Looking at retail sentiment, it's currently 68% short. So I think what I'll do at this point is I'll probably put a sell stop right there. Adjustments here. I'm not in the position, guys. I put a sell stop there. So I'm going to catch it as it comes back down. If it doesn't come back down, then that's completely fine. It's not going to trigger my trade. So don't enter it yet. I mean, you can enter if you want, but I think it's risky. What I did with that click noise is I entered a sell stop so that when it comes down, it's going to trigger it and it's going to hit my TV if it just drops right back down. So let's see. So that's not an entry. It's a sell stop. So what was I going to do here? All right, so I got it set up already. If it comes down, it comes down. If it doesn't, whatever, it doesn't fill my trade. So I'll be looking for that. And it kind of goes hand in hand with what we were looking for here anyways, because you guys can see we're waiting for price to come back and retest the opening price anyways. So yeah, minimum follow it. Not in it yet though. Just have a sell stop ready to enter when it comes down. When it comes down, I'll enter and then hopefully go straight to TP. All right, let's see. We have a question here from Donnie. Donnie's asking, you have a question, but it's in NSD USD LOL. Do you think the sell is valid on the 4 hour? So let me go check that real quick. I have this marked up here, guys. So if it does come down, it comes down and fills my order. I'm not in the position, so just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna move this over here. If it comes down, it's gonna trigger my order and it'll come down, but I don't have it open right now. So you know, just keep that in mind. If you guys are wondering. So let me go to the 4 hour real quick and I'll take a look at NZD USD. Man, I haven't analyzed a Forex pair in I can't remember how long. So let me just go over here real quick to NZD USD. Let's see. All right. So I'm just go over here real quick. I'm just trying to figure out what Donnie was looking at. So let me just zoom out from here, turn this off, zoom out further, turn this off. There's too much stuff on the chart. Okay, so let me just analyze this real quick because I haven't looked at this stuff and I can't remember the last time I traded Forex. Yeah, Noel said back when K2 started, killed them Forex pairs. Yeah, I know. I still like Forex. It's a lot more work because we have so many pairs to look at. What I realized over time is a better thing to do is to find one asset that you like, any pair. For me, it's US 30, and then just get really good at that one pair because you start to see the same patterns play out over and over again. So that's why for me, I just stick with US 30 now because it's more volatile. And I also don't like being on the charts all day anymore. I just like being on the charts during a specific time where I can take these trades. So, all right, let's see, you got that right there. Also, if you want to confirm what strategy we're talking about, Donnie, because I don't see any buy here. Let me see. Or you said sell. Okay, sorry. You said sell. My bad. So let me turn this off. All right, so I have my zones drawn up right now. As you guys can see, if I turn off the K2 momentum indicator, you can see how perfectly drawn these zones are, right? You can see price, exactly how price is moving. Price went sideways, broke up to the upside, consolidation, break out to the downside, consolidation, break out to the downside, consolidation, shoot back up, consolidate for a while, and then make its way down. So looking at NZD USD right now, currently, Donnie, I don't really see a sell that's available right now. You would need this to close below the structure right here. So in order for you to take this trade right here, price would need to close below here to take that, and then you can catch it as it comes down from here. However, right now, currently, I don't see any trades that are available for this sell right now. So Donnie said, I was thinking of entering when price breaks the zone it's currently sitting on. Yeah, no, that'd be good, Donnie. So if that becomes the case where price breaks and closes below here, you can take that for a sell. Right here, looking at the trend meter, this is another confluence. Looks like a good sell because price is trending to the downside overall. Also, looking over here, turning on the pivots, price is below the pivots, right? So like I was mentioning before, guys, the more confluences you guys have, the better. So we have one confluence right here. Trend is bearish. Confluence number 2, price is below the pivots. Confluence number 3, we have a sell signal right here. So momentum's coming down. Another confluence right here, we have a nice rejection off the pivots right there. So with that said, if price closes below here, you can take a sell, and then it looks like it can drop pretty nicely. So, like I mentioned before, guys, it's all about patience and just waiting for this to confirm, right? When you get that confirmation, then you can take it for a sell. But other than that, it's just going to be a matter of waiting. So yeah, no, it was a good spot right there for that. I'm just looking back at US 30 right now. So good thing that we didn't enter that trade right away, because you can see how it shifted all the way back up, right? This is why you guys got to be very careful when you guys enter trades here, because you guys got to wait for that confirmation, especially if it's a big candle like this. It usually pulls back a bit. One of two things usually happens when price pulls back like this. It can do two things. So we had that entry right there. And what happens is price will usually go halfway back up. And then once it gets halfway, it'll do one of two things. It'll either continue pushing up higher, or it'll come right back down, right? And that's why I didn't enter the trade right away, because I already anticipated that was going to happen. And that's exactly what happened here. Price went all the way back up. So you guys got to be smart about your trades, not take any dumb trades here, and just, be consistent with what you're doing. So I'm gonna turn this off because I'm not gonna, it technically is too far up, so it's not gonna be a good entry anymore. So I'm gonna delete my my sell stop. I mean, it might just come back down, but I don't care. I'm not gonna take it. Let me just delete this real quick. All right, so yeah, unfortunately, no trades on the live session today, guys. This whole week's been kind of like trash. Hasn't been that good. Majority of my trades have been coming after the session or in Asia session. So it happens, guys. Sometimes the market's not going to move like good at all. It's just going to be slow. Let me see if there's any news tomorrow. I was hoping that because of the CPI today, news would have, like, market would have picked up a bit, but it just hasn't picked up. Tomorrow is actually a holiday, so that's probably why the market's moving kind of weird today, because tomorrow is a holiday. It's bank holiday. I don't know if the market's going to be closed, but I know that market's going to be slow for sure. Friday's going to be risky though. Friday we have a lot of Fed members speaking. We have Joel's job openings, Fed member Williams speaking, inflation expectations, consumer sentiment, and then the Treasury currency report. So with that said, tomorrow's going to be a bit risky. Or not tomorrow, Friday's going to be risky. But yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Other than that, I think we're done for this session. Yeah, the reason why I don't really want to keep trading is because you can see prices kind of just going back and forth. It's not necessarily doing anything specific. It's kind of just going back and forth right now as we speak. So as you can see, prices coming back down. I could have left my sell stop there, but I'm not going to, because it's just it just wouldn't make sense for me to leave it there, because it's just not a good trade to be entering into. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Unfortunately, today was kind of a slow day. It was a lot slower than we were anticipating. Just marking this up from here. So basically, market opened right here, and it pushed up to here. So the range from this entire session wasn't even that much, right? So if you just look at it from this point, this is how much prices moved for the entire morning session, which is not very much at all. I mean, it's a back and forth movement. There's literally no direction. This is how much it's moved. It's only moved about 1,000 pips, which is nothing, because you expect it to move a lot more. So with the market right here just going sideways, it's probably best to just sit out the market unless you guys really see something good. Otherwise, it's just not really worth the risk. So other than that, guys, I think we're done for the day. If you guys have questions, feel free to email me, message me on Telegram. Just a reminder, I'm not going to be online pretty much all day today, because I'll be at Disneyland. So if you guys do have questions, go ahead, just leave your questions and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But other than that, guys, have a great rest of your morning. And if you guys want to continue trading, always remember to protect your position and or use a smaller lot size. And if you guys don't feel comfortable, just use a demo account, right? If you guys want to play around, I would probably recommend that, because if I'm not trading today, it's probably a good idea to sit out the market. So other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and then we'll pick it back up on Thursday.